to the Northwest Community Garden, located at the corner of Park and Baxter Streets. The Rutland Department of Parks and Rec administers 2 such gardens, which are open to members of the community to plant and grow their own produce. Over the next few months, we will feature the progress of this garden, from soil preparation, seeding, pruning, and the final harvest. Our garden guide is Nicholas Santoro. Welcome back to the Northwest Community Garden. This is our 8th furrow and our last shoot right here in the garden. I consider this our harvest garden. And Nick, what do we have behind us that's orange and really Halloweenish?
Well, we had some beautiful pumpkins, and we currently have lots of marigolds, which are just beautiful at this time of year. And we have tomatillas growing still, and we have Swiss chard and kale, and we have plenty of squash. Today we just cut a little bit of a delicato squash and some butternut squash and some green spotted squash that I haven't the vaguest idea what its Italian name is, but it looks pretty sumptuous. And what else?
Well, I noticed that you brought a very large tape measure. What are you planning on measuring today?
Well, we're going to measure the length of the run of the squash patch over at the community part of the garden. 25-foot tape from the center of the community squash patch. And
let's see.
I know where my
which
squash
is longer,
are,
the vine or the tape?
so I'm not going to step on them. Look at this. We got 25 feet yet? There it is, 25 feet.
Let me snap it in place.
We got 25 foot of vines. Isn't that fantastic?
Yep, 25 feet. Wow,
right,
that's a really long vine. That must be some kind of record. Now let's go measure the pumpkins. This is the center, I guess.
That's the center.
Okay.
Okay, let's see how far these vines went. I'll take that. Not too far. We got 4 beautiful pumpkins here. So we have about, how far is that, Gale?
12 feet
12 feet.
from, yes, about
The
12.
center. This was a very productive plant. I'll have to moo-doo next year because it really worked. The biggest pumpkin was about beach ball size, and the kind you'd pay $6 for or $5 for. Okay, my estimation is that we got, that's about 10 feet 8 inches. And so you bend it, the tape this way, and let's see, 11 feet and 3 inches. That's pretty good. In that this is our last filming in the garden here, I wanted to simply go over a couple of significant events that have occurred here this year. With the help of Tyler and Conrad at the rec department, these 2 marble benches we installed here, and they're a nice addition. And this year, you know, we have these super sunflowers, and we have the tomatillas, and you know, this year the Council on Aging down the street took a plot, and this year residents were very comfortable with the vegetables that were provided for anyone.
Speaking of providing vegetables, I understand we're going to have some special visitors this morning.
The fire department folks who have provided us with the 250-gallon tank behind me and have provided water, which has really slowed down my aging process, because I would take out the hose at home and fill up the 5-gallon buckets. But anyhow, we've had a really successful growing season, and I'm really convinced that residents would like to have more plots in the neighborhood. And now that the farmers market just up the street started teaching kids about growing food, I'm hoping that those children might motivate parents to want to get plots. And I'm hoping that I might be able to convince Project Vision and the Rec Department and City Hall to find funding to create more gardens in the areas that NeighborWorks, which used state funding, I believe, to knock down blighted properties, and there are numerous empty places where gardens could go.
What produce specifically will we be able to donate to the fire department to thank them so much for their service?
Well, today we have, of course, late cherry tomatoes, which make a great marinara sauce, some butternut squash. We have the delicato, and I'm going to say the other one's a spaghetti squash, but I'm not sure.
Tomatillas?
We have some tomatillas, and if anybody would like to volunteer, we can cut some sorrel, and we can cut some Swiss chard and some kale for them. Brent and Seth stopped by today. The fire department's been bringing us water for the last half of the season. Mike got this beautiful 250-gallon tank, and it saves everybody a lot of effort. So in gratitude for their great efforts, we have a few vegetables. We have the fire department logo bag, right? Courage, commitment, and compassion. That's pretty good. Anyhow, here's some tomatillas for Seth.
Thank you.
And in here we have some kale and some, ooh, look at that, some carrots and some old string beans that'll be good in a soup. And there's butternut squash. And we got some cherry tomatoes for the soup, and some marigolds and zinnias, and thanks a lot.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Great to see you.
And we'll take it back to the firehouse and put it to good use.
You better.
So have a heck of a meal with it.
Just I hope I don't find it in the compost.
Not at all. No, not at all.
Hi.
Also in this segment, we are privileged to have Linda with us, and she'll be explaining how to use and take full herbal advantage of several herbs that are growing here in the garden. We welcome back Linda, our herbal expert. Today, Linda is going to show us how to use and appreciate 4 different herbs that are growing right here in the garden. Linda, show us what you brought.
Okay, the first one that I want to introduce is sour grass, and this one here has some like little yellow flowers on it, and the leaves are like heart-shaped leaves. Sometimes they can get mistaken for clover, but these taste sour, and you can put some in your salads. This is pigweed, and when it gets full grown, it sort of looks like this. And you can feed your chickens the seeds from this. The leaves, you're better off cooking them. They don't taste good raw, like thrown in salads or anything. And the stems you can like peel them like you would a carrot, peel off the outside skin, and you can saute them. This here is lamb's quarters, and it looks different in the spring. You'll see it with some soft green leaves, and it's got like a little white film on it, and it's just really mineral rich. And these things, it's in the amaranth family, and it's not really a grain, but it's right up there as far as plant protein, like with quinoa.
Well, how do you eat it?
Well, you can pull these off. I got a big bowl full the other day, and you can take the leaves and that, and I soak them in a little bit of baking soda for like 10-15 minutes just to get anything off. So then you can saute them in a frying pan with a little oil and butter and onion. And this really tastes great. It tastes a little bit on the crunchy side. So that's what you can do with this. And this is very rich in vitamins and minerals, and huge in vitamin C and vitamin A.
Is it difficult to grow?
This grows anywhere. A lot of the plants that I'm showing you are they have low soil and they like water, and they'll grow in cracks in sidewalks. They'll grow anywhere. This here is Purslane or Purslane, and this is amazing to me. It's very high in omega-3 fatty acids and all kinds of vitamins and minerals, and also has dopamine and melatonin. So the omega-3s feed the brain, so it's really excellent for you. And also high in fiber and good for helping with weight loss. But before you eat any of these wild edibles, it's good to go slow and to make sure you know what you're picking and what you're eating. And there's lots of books out there on wild edibles. So just make sure you know what you're doing first.
Well, thank you very much, Linda, for giving us a tour of the herbs that can grow in our garden and help make us healthier. We appreciate your sharing this with us.
Thank you.
We had a really good season here. Gale and I had a good time fingering it up when we could with our green fingers, and who knows, maybe we'll even do something like this again in the garden or in some other
Location
or domain of interest.
We may explore greenhouse gardening.
The last thing I did want to say, though, is that, and this is really a wonderful thing about this area, is now every Thursday, the last Thursday of the month, at the hospital, fresh vegetables are going to be distributed, which means starting today, I believe it is. And with all the organic farms, we have a great opportunity to integrate the organic farm superstructure in this area with this small neighborhood, and hopefully we can introduce up the street, because the farmers market will be teaching children from this neighborhood, fourth graders, about growing. And so they will be the people who will motivate their parents to get into a plot, I hope. Now, for any of you folks who might be watching who are interested in gardening of the type we've been doing, I would suggest to contact, number one, contact the rec department about renting a plot for next year. Number two, contact the farmers market when they're providing classes to school kids, and maybe they're doing residents already, but I don't think so. Contact Project Vision and let them know that you're interested in gardening and expanding the community garden project. And lastly, I'd suggest contacting the schools, which are now sending kids over to the farmers market. And like I indicated earlier, with the infrastructure of organic farming that's available, it's a great opportunity to try to introduce people with limited means how to grow their own food. And the more, with the success of the garden this year, many people came by asking about renting plots, and quite frankly, it may be so that there won't be enough plots, and I would suggest contacting these different institutions, and as well contacting the hospital about that those vegetables that they're going to be giving out every Thursday.
All right, that's pretty much it for this episode. Our last episode, also known as the 9th Furrow, will take place not in the garden, but at Peg TV Studios. They have a wonderful kitchen there, and we are going to make salsa, mostly using vegetables grown here. So I hope to see you then.
I wanted to say goodbye. We had a great time, and Gale's been a great producer. And once more, I want to...
Well, this is our 8th furrow, so let's do 8 fingers.
Oh, go, that's okay, 8 fingers.
Green
8
fingers
furrows.
forever!